All right, I'm going to give you a live shooting demo, and here I'm using my Sony mirrorless camera, and I like this because you can see exactly what's happening here in the screen, and you can see I'm focused on the cup right here. This is a cute little Aperture cup, or a little camera cup that someone got me, and I've used a pattern background on purpose because I want you to see it go from out of focus to in focus as we change the aperture. So right now I have it on Aperture Priority at f1.8. That's the lowest that this lens will go. And then I've got it at ISO 1600 because I'm down in the basement and I don't have a ton of light. And then the shutter speed is going to change as we change the aperture. So let's go ahead and take our first picture. All right, you can see the background is very, very blurry here. Now we're going to go and we're going to change the aperture to, let's go to 2.8. Take a picture, and it's getting a little bit more in focus. Now a lot of your lenses that come with the camera start at 3.5. So let's go ahead and take a picture at 3.5. And notice as we take the pictures, the shutter speed is getting lower and lower because the hole on the aperture is getting smaller and smaller. So we need to let more light in order to get the same exposure, okay? So let's go ahead and take it up to 4 because a lot of your lenses go to 4. You can see a little bit more here is in focus. Let's take it to 5.6. You can see more of that background's coming into focus. Let's go to 7.1. You're starting to see a lot more of that pattern here. Let's go to 9.0. You're starting to see a lot more clearly. Let's go to f13. And notice how low the shutter. So I've got this on a tripod. I could not hand hold this at 1/25 of a second. That's very, very slow because the little opening on your lens is getting very, very tiny, so it's got to leave the shutter open longer to let enough light in so that it's well exposed. So let's go ahead and go all the way to the end of my, my lens goes to f22. Let's take a picture. It's shooting at 1/8 of a second, so that's very slow. And even there, I might want to even do it on a self timer. So I can put it on, instead of hand holding it, I can put it on self timer for 2 seconds. And then when I focus it, I hold it halfway down. And then I put it on a 2-second self timer. And what that does is I'm able to push the button and then take my hand off so I don't get any camera shake. So let's go ahead and just review what we just saw. So we've got f22, 13, 9, 7.1, 5.6, 4.0, 3.5, 2.8, 1.8. So you can look at the background, see how it changes as we go. Look at that. It comes more and more into focus. And I didn't change the distance of my camera to the subject or my subject to the background. So now I'm going to show you, I'm going to move my subject closer to the background. So let's go ahead and reset this. So I moved, nothing changed. I moved the cup further away from the camera and up against the backdrop, okay? So let's see what this difference, I'm going to give you a little hint. It's not going to be as dramatic because the blurrier, the background gets blurrier, the further your subject is away from the background. So if you've ever set your subjects up against a wall and you're like, Andrea, it's not that blurry. Well, that's why, because your subject needs to be further away from the background. So this is 1.8. Oops. I still have it on self timer, so let me fix that real quick. Oop. gonna put that back on one shot. So this is at 1.8. And you can see the background's a little bit blurry, but not that blurry. Okay, and then let's go ahead and we're gonna go to 2.8. Maybe a little bit blurry, but not that blurry. Let's go up to 4.0. Not that blurry. We'll go up to 5.6. And then let's jump to 9.0. And then let's jump all the way to f22. And you can see that there is not a big difference between f9, f5.6, f4, f2.8, f1.8, very slightly. So when your subject is right up against the backdrop, then you're not going to see as big of a difference. So always pull your subject away from the background. And so let's just say you're taking pictures against the woods. If you want the woods to be blurred out, you need to pull your subject away from the woods. If you're taking a picture against a Christmas tree and you want the Christmas tree to have those blurred out lights, you need to pull your subject away from the tree. If you want like an alley, there's lots of junk and garbage back in an alley. Just pull your subject away, get up close to your subject, take the picture, and the alley turns into a really nice blurry background. So there's a little tip for you. Another way to get more blur is to get up closer to your subject. So there is a minimum focusing distance on your lenses. So if you ever get that, it's hunting and pecking, you get that noise. Here, let me see if I can do that. I'm gonna get in real close here. So I'm not getting the green click that it's actually focusing because I'm in too close. So there, I'm in close enough that I can still focus. So this is at f22. And now I'm very, very close to my subject. So the difference is I'm getting even a little tiny bit of blur at f22. So let's go ahead, let's do this again. Let's go all the way back to 1.8. I'm now very close to my subject. You can see the changes here. So let's go ahead and, I don't think I'm having trouble focusing. I think I'm a little bit too close. Okay, there we go. So I'm at f1.8. I'm a lot closer to my subject. Here you can barely see that we even have a patterned background. So this can be really, really useful if you have a busy background that you're trying to get rid of. So let's go to 3.5 where a lot of your lenses start. Now it is possible to get blur on the kit lens that comes with your camera. Okay, so those probably go down to 5.6, but here's the key. You've got to get very, very close to your subject, and you need to pull your subject as far away from the background as possible. So you can see here I'm at f.6. I'm very close to my subject at 50 millimeters, so you're 18 to 55. You can do this. The key is you have to get close and you have to pull your subject away from the background. Otherwise, you will not see the kind of blur that you're hoping for. Now let's do one more. Let's just jump all the way to f22 here. And you'll see it's not going to be as crisp as when the subject was further away. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take all of these pictures that I just took and I'm going to line them up and I'm going to put the camera settings and I'm going to let you download them so you can see them side by side on a printed PDF. I think that'll be really helpful for you to see the camera settings, to see them side by side, and then I'll also diagram kind of the distance from the background and the distance from the camera to help you understand how to get the blurry background and how Aperture works. All right, thanks, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments or feel free to ask questions on the Facebook Live. Thanks so much.